For more on what's at stake here for the future of the Department of Education, my next guest represents over 2,800 federal employees who work at the Department of Education. Sheria Smith, the president of American Federation of Government Employees at Local 252, joining me now. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. Of course. So we know that dismantling the education department, if it happens, is a huge part of Doge and Elon Musk's efforts here to slash the size of the government. And they're making these efforts, right, to make things more efficient. But what are you doing right now to advocate for your clients? And is there any of them that feel like they support this in any way and that they would have a job in the aftermath? Or do they feel like if this goes forward, they're done?
Again, if this goes forward, they're done. And I will just say I'm an employee at the U.S. Department of Education, and the mass terminations, the chaos, the unchecked unprofessionalism that we have experienced these past few weeks are not efficient, and they demonstrate a lack of respect for the Americans who have dedicated their careers in service of their fellow Americans. And it's also, demonstrates a disrespect for the critical services that we provide for this nation.
I know that there is overwhelming concern if this were to go forward, especially for some of those special needs kids, kids that live in rural areas, some kids that are underserved as well. Is it your feeling that if the states were to take control over education, that those kids would be lost in the mix?
I think, again, I love this question. I'd like to, because it addresses some of the miseducation that goes on in the Department of Education. The states are already in control of this curriculum. Our agency provides additional funding, so taxpayers don't have to, or localities don't have to increase their property taxes to provide these services. The states are already in control of these services. Our fear is that either these services just won't continue without our funding, or American people will have to pay more in taxes to their states or their local governments or their property taxes to continue the critical work that we help facilitate.
Can you tell me about some of your conversations with, some of the teachers that you're talking to, and what are you worried here about the greater impact on American education as a whole?
I mean, beyond teachers, I think all Americans, there are laws that we rely on and we expect to be enforced. Laws even regarding our ability to access public buildings like schools. Without the employees at the U.S. Department of Education, you have no one to enforce those laws. So those laws are meaningless. So it's not just teachers. It's not just people with children, in schools. It is everyone. If you care about making sure that you have access to funding for your education, who will be enforcing that if we do not have a job? That is what we do at the U.S. Department of Education. We do not control curriculum. We ensure that all Americans have access to the things that they need.
Sheria Smith, we so appreciate your work and your time with us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.